is Ms. Hassim's point. And she says, bullet number 2 that you just referred to is not the same category as as the political matters team bullet. That's a different category. So it's not the same category that you referred to, which is in bullet 2. That's Ms. Hassim's point. So whatever is said in brackets about the task team in bullet 2 is not or does not relate to political matters team, which is a different category. And that's the point.
That's quite right, Chair. Thank you for that. And to put it clearly, what you've read in brackets, if it was to apply to all of the task teams, it would have preceded the bullet points, the list of bullet points, right? It would have been an overall heading. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay.
And to show that these are different categories, what precedes the bullet says, task teams found operating in provinces are as follows, and then the bullets. So those are different categories. So the political matters team is not the same as the team referred to in bullet 2. That's a simple point. You may pose your question again, Ms. Hassim.
Do you agree with that?
Chair, I don't. Oh, I don't.
You don't agree that these are different categories?
No, this I agree that these are different
categories.
Okay.
And do you agree that the category itemized in bullet 2 is not the same as the category itemized as political matters team? Obviously, you must agree. You've already just said you agree.
You have agreed.
You've just agreed that these are different categories. So bullet 2 and the political matters team are different bullets. So you must agree. It's only logical, not so?
I agree, Chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So where else then in the document does it talk about the disbandment of the political killings team?
Maybe before you do that, let me just make sure I understand what the General is saying. General, that bullet 2, multi-trio task teams functioning in various provinces, is that the paragraph you rely on to say that there was a decision, management decision to disband the PKTT? Is that what you're doing?
No, Chair. What I'm relying on is the fact that when there's a study that is being conducted that says we've got numerous task teams that are operating in different provinces, and these task teams, they take away the manpower from the units. So let us disband the task team and then let the members be in the unit and strengthen the unit. That was the whole idea. So this whole idea starting from re-establishment of the task team, because when you read the first one that talks about the re-establishment, it also places, it talks about those units like your murder and robbery units, tech theft and everything. And then from there, it will also say, give the mandate of each and every one of them, of which it places the political killing task team under the murder and robbery unit.
Allow me to interrupt you. You took us to that paragraph, and I just wanted to understand what meaning, whether you're saying that is the paragraph in this whole document that authorizes, or that way it is decided or recorded that the PKTT was to be dissolved. I think your answer, I want to say your answer is no. From your explanation, it's not the paragraph you're relying on. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so then can you take us, is there anywhere else other than the references you gave us thus far in this report where it says that the PKTT should be disestablished?
Yes. In my case, commissioners, if there's a decision that says we have provincial capacities that exist in provinces, that must be closed down to capacitate the units. As far as I'm concerned, it talks about the people that are at the task teams so that the units can be strong. Now, I don't know if I'm allowed to clarify something. Like,
Before you clarify, just so that we don't get lost in detail, where is that decision that you've just described now?
that, let's go to paragraph 6.4.5 behind. That says, and I'm reading where it says, the reason for the establishment of these units was to...
Where are you reading, General?
6.4.5, are you reading 4 lines from the top?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you are not starting from the beginning of a paragraph that you are referring us to, General, you should always tell us the line, please. It makes it easier for us to find where you are reading from. So we do see it. Please read.
But before you read, because we've been here already,
Yeah.
you've read this, and we established that this is the intended plan, right? That was what this report envisaged taking place. This was the plan. It doesn't say that the PKTT should be disbanded.
You see, what I think, firstly, Chair, I think we need to agree that when we talk about the PKTT, let's remove the word PKTT. Let's talk the word task team. Because the moment you bracket me into PKTT, and I'm talking about the task teams, I'm applying the whole bigger picture, and then the evidence here brackets me and say, no, tell me where it says the PKTT.
No.
Yes, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
Let
you
me
see
explain.
why that is happening, General, is the topic that Ms. Hassim took you to is the disbandment of the PKTT. And she introduced her questioning by asking you where you get, or rather, she said, you say you were not surprised when the PKTT was disbanded. And then she next took you to why that was so. You then said overnight you studied SS47 thoroughly and that you have notes on it. And then Ms. Hassim said, show us where it says, that is SS47, where it says the PKTT is to be disbanded. You took us to 645, you read the first paragraph, then you took us to the second paragraph of 6.4.5. After you had read it, she then asked you, but is it not so that what you have just read was nothing but a plan that was, open quote, being proposed, close quote, and you agreed? So it is on that basis that Ms. Hassim says now, but how can you again take us to 6.4.5 when all that it does is to propose a plan? That's where we are. But now you want to explain, I don't know whether you want to explain around 6.4.5 still.
Chair, I think where it all started is when how I responded was to say there has been a build-up and a series of meetings leading to that. This is how it all started before we got to now the report that was now, where she focused now on the report. But I said how I relied on the fact that I was not surprised because there has been several meetings and consultations before. This is part one of the things that made me comfortable to say, in any event, there was a study that was conducted, and this study talks about the re-establishment of the specialized unit. Among others is the murder and robbery unit, whose mandate will be to look into the political killings and taxi killings, police killings, all those killings.
Yes, General. We must start somewhere. Yes, you referred to several meetings and documents and so on. We must start somewhere. So we have started with SS47. All that we want, and that was indeed Commissioner Baloyi's question, is for you to show us a decision that says, PKTT, you are now being disestablished or being disbanded. Show us that. You've taken us to 6.4.5. All that we are able to glean from that is a plan that was being proposed. You have taken us to 6.4.5.1. There as well, we see nothing, unless you go back to it and show us, we see nothing that says, PKTT, you are being disbanded. We don't see that. Show us, take us. You said you went through this document overnight and that you did so thoroughly. Show us a decision that says, PKTT, you are being disbanded.
All I can say, Chair, is that in all these documents, re-establishment and this one of evaluations of the implementation of...
You'll take us to others. Let's not be disorganized. You'll take us to others, please, General, please. Let's deal with SS47. In SS47, show us where there is a decision that says the PKTT is being disbanded. You'll take us. We will give you the opportunity. You will take us to the next one. We will not gag you in this regard.
Chair, I'm trying to respond now to this question in the overall, because these two documents that I'm sitting with, there is no where it is written PKTT must be disbanded. All of it. Because the document was not only meant for the PKTT, it was meant for all the task teams, which included the PKTT.
Okay.
All right, then.
Can you take us to where in this document it says that task teams should be disbanded?
The reason for the establishment of these units was to ensure that provincial directed investigations.
Sorry, where are you reading from?
6.4.5, line number 1, 2, 3, 4. Then
Are you reading the same thing again?
could be conducted with the alternative function to also replace the numerous task team that were functioning at provincial level, to replace the numerous task teams that are functioning at provincial level.
Right, and we've already gone through this. And
So, Ms. Hassan, let me try and do something that I'm hoping will be helpful, will get us past this point. General, your 645, that paragraph that you referred to, it starts off, it speaks about provincial investigation units, and it says, the reason for the establishment of these units, which is the part you're reading, was to ensure that provincial directed investigations could be conducted with the alternative function to also replace the task teams that were functioning at the provincial level. Now, if you turn to page 796 of the same document.
I'm giving the...
796 of the same document?
Yes. And 8.10 in particular.
And 11, both 8, 10, and 11. I was going to go to 11. Yeah, at 796. Let's start at 8.11. It reads, the provincial investigating units in the provinces that have been established be closed as discussed in paragraph 6.4.5, 6.4.6, and 7.5. So 8.11, it suggests, it recommends, its recommendations. It recommends the closure of PIUs that have been established. And then 8.10 says current task teams be subjected to an impact analysis by organizational development and strategic management in the province to ensure the feasibility of the existing teams. So 8.10 puts it beyond doubt that this document does not recommend the closing of task teams at all. It says they must be subject to an impact analysis. And then 8.11 says the PIUs that are referred to in the paragraph that you are referring to, 6.4.5, that have been established must be shut down. So 6.4.5 is not where you go when you're looking for a decision, whether there was a decision to close task teams in general or the PKTT. It's not in 6.4.5.
And then
And in fact, 8.10 contradicts what you're saying.
8.13, can I read it, Chair? It says the provincial investigation unit be removed from the structure of the detective service as a prioritization as well as cost-saving measures as referred to in paragraph 6.4.5, 6.4.6, and 7.5. However,
That says nothing. No, before you go to however, can we agree that the text that I have read, that you have read, that the chair and Ms. Hassam have referred to, all of that text, nowhere does it speak about the closure of task teams in general, and nowhere does it mention the closure of the PKTT in particular. Can we at least agree on the text that we have read?
I agree, Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. And I take it you don't wish to take us to any other part of this report? Can we move off this report then?
Just one last sentence that I want to make, Chair, in relation to this thing. When I'm sitting with a document as approved by the National Commissioner, I understand that the National Commissioner signed it on the 5th of the 6th month. That says implementation to be implemented by the Deputy National Commissioner, Crime Detection and Divisional Commissioner. Implementation of specialized units. Specialized unit meaning including, among others, the murder and robbery unit, which is to take care of the political killing task team. As far as I'm concerned, it was actually dealing with the same issue. But if the commissioners are of the view that for as long as there's no weight that says disband the PKTT, then all this is irrelevant, I will then accept. There's not much I can say about it.
Or any task team? The document doesn't recommend disbanding any task team.
But this document clearly deals with the rampant task schemes that are existing, and it says they take capacity from they disempower the units, they impoverish the units. And I'm trying to find a gap of explaining something, but I'm not, because I don't want to go to look like I'm just rampant.
There are 2 points here. The first is that it says that current task teams must be subject to an impact analysis. Right? Right? So, presumably, once an impact analysis is done, there will be an evidence-based decision of which task teams are to be disbanded, correct?
Yes.
And this document was only signed off in June 2025, right?
Yes.
And that was well after the decision was made.
Yes.
6 months.
Yes.
Okay. So the second event that you said, why this is no...
Just before that, General, also, you remember yesterday, I asked you a question whether you accept that there's a difference between task teams and units, and you accepted that there is a difference.
Yes, yes, Chair.
What my colleague Commissioner Baloyi took you to, that is paragraphs 8.10 and 8.11, they don't deal with the same subject matter. 8.10 deals with task teams, and it doesn't say task teams are to be closed or disbanded. It says they are to be subjected to an impact analysis. And then 8.11 says provincial investigation units that have been established be closed. So units. So there's a conscious distinction by the drafters to refer to task teams and to units. And task teams under which the PKTT falls are to be subjected to an impact analysis. So there's simply no question of a recommendation for the disbandment of the PKTT or any other task team for that matter. So your problem seems to be that you use task team and unit interchangeably, which is wrong. Do you accept that?
Can I ask the Chair a question?
No, please respond to mine.
That I can't distinguish between a task team and a unit.
Maybe you can, but in the testimony you are giving now, you are simply using the two terms interchangeably. I'm not suggesting that you don't know which is which. 8.10 addresses task teams, and those are to be subjected to an impact analysis. And 8.11 addresses provincial investigation units, in respect of which the recommendation is that they should be closed. So simple point is, nowhere do we see anything that recommends closure in respect of task teams, a category under which the PKTT falls.
Chairperson, let me accept and move on.
Please, thank you.
Thank you. Chair, it is 1 o'clock. It might be an opportune time.
Let's adjourn and resume at 2 p.m.
Thank you. still dealing with this, question about your explanation for why it was no surprise that the PKTT was disbanded. We've dealt with the Murray report, but in your statement, you also rely on what you call another event, which is a meeting that was held with the minister on the 1st of November. Let's go there, because you were provided with the draft minutes. And can you please take us to where in the draft minutes it speaks of the disbandment of the PKTT? And Chair, it's at file 6, page 499.
There are two page numbers, General, one red and another one black. So the red is 499, the black is 96.
Got it?
Can you tell us where in the minutes it refers to the disbandment? There's a decision to disband or pending decision.
When in this document, Chair, you will never find anywhere where they say disband. But what you will find is the consultative discussions where the topic of the disbandment started, and where, in fact, the National Commissioner himself was saying it was just a task team that was meant to evolve into a unit. It can be done. That's all.
So it was just a discussion about. Sorry, can you just repeat? What did the National Commissioner say?
Let me quote the National Commissioner verbatim from the statement, okay, from the minutes.
That would be useful. Thank you.
General Masemola indicated that the matter of the he further indicated that, okay, there's the inspectorate. I want to go specifically to a specific. He further explained that a political killing capability that is in place.
Where are you reading from now, Jim?
My apologies, Chair. That is now the last sentence. May I proceed?
Yes.
Yes, General.
He further explained that a political killing capability that is in place was in a form of a task team and not a fixed unit establishment. This other one is just too dark for me to read. But what I know from that meeting, from the minutes that I have, he said that it was meant to evolve into a unit and that it can be done.
Is there any reason we are not projecting this?
Sorry, I didn't. So, General, sorry, to start, you took us to the last line of page 502, right? right? And it says, and that he is the National Commissioner General Masmola. He further explained that a political killing capability that is in place was in the form of a task team and not a fixed unit or establishment. That doesn't say anything about disestablishment or anything. It's a statement of fact that what's in place was a task team and not a unit. It doesn't give us any information about a discussion for the potential disestablishment of the task team. Do you agree?
What gives me a little bit of a challenge, Chair, is that because I've been at the ad hoc as well, and then my file is marked, is underlined. Now, because of at this present moment, when I take a file like this and then I have to go through, now I have to start looking for what I want. So that is why I take a little bit of...
But for now, General, Ms. Hassim is asking you about the sentence you read. So I'm sure you are able to find that, because you read it just now.
This is a question...
It's the sentence you just read, the last sentence on page 502, right?
Yes.
You've read it. I've read it out to you. I'll read it again. He further explained that a political killing capability that is in place was in a form of task team and not a fixed unit or establishment.
That's correct.
That is a statement of fact, right?
That is correct.
It doesn't say anything about disestablishment of the task team. Correct?
The paragraph, the sentence that I
Yes.
read, yes.
Okay. So is there anywhere else in this minute that it does talk about the disestablishment? And if you wish to, sorry, Commissioner, if you wish to look at your copy and then cross-refer to the page number that we have, whatever works, that's acceptable.
I'd rather do that, Chair, because I do know that this is the first consultative meetings in the executive meeting where the National Commissioner actually indicated that it can be done.
Okay, so you can have a look at your copy.
Yes.
Okay, so where in your copy, if you just take us to the page, so you'll see that these minutes at the bottom right, they have page 3 of 1 of 15 all the way up to page 15 of 15. So you can use that page reference for the purposes of your answer.
Chair, so that we don't waste time, can I come back to it? Can I do that, or should I, I don't want to avoid to respond to the question, but all I know is that I will find it somewhere in the statement, but if I can't find it now, then let me then read.
When you say statement, are you referring to these minutes?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Mr. Sim, I think the idea to project was with reference to page 503 in particular. The General said, I can't see, and the same for me. But I think it may be important, in fact, what is there, because when you look at the structure of this document, and I'm going to take you back, if you turn to 501, the heading is slide 7, micro-organizational structure. And then you have a discussion that is recorded, and then it concludes at page 503, where it's blue. It says decision objective. And that's the format. And then the next heading is slide 8. And if you page through, you see that some decisions are made and directives. And I think we should look, we're now looking at what the General has read in isolation of the discussion under slide 7. under the heading slide 7, and I think we do need to see what those dark parts are and what the decision is.
So the two ways to do it. I mean, first of all, it's projected, but also I think your copy wouldn't have these highlights, so it would be easier to read. Is that so? Or do you also have that on your own copy, your personal copy? Because as Commissioner Baloy says, the relevant slide in this meeting is slide 7.
Slide 7.
Slide 7. So it starts on page, let me refer to page 2 of 15. It starts on page 2 of 15. And it goes to page 4 of 15. And it ends with decisions under that topic of macro-organizational structure. And what you've taken us to is part of the discussion before the decisions.
Chair, when we go to page 3 of 15, page 99 or 502, and then you go to the first highlighted one where they say, this is paragraph 3 now. The minister further indicated that there must be reconsideration and review of certain capabilities, such as the political killing task team, which are primarily about address serious crime. He stated that SAPS should guard against creating structures, stroke units based on specific category, whilst this duplicate the existing capabilities such as taxi killing, political killing, all being about murders. This is where the discussions were also, some of the discussions taken place. Remember before there were some emails that were being sent between the National Commissioner, Mary Diaz and other people. But then this was the executive meeting called by the minister in the boardroom, executive boardroom, with the top management of the police. And this is where this subject was ventilated as well, with the National Commissioner as well, not really against such. Hence, I asked yesterday for the recording.
Yeah?
Can I just, sorry, I do apologize.
Go ahead.
General, in that very last paragraph, what you've read, the very last sentence, this is the General Masemula speaking. He further explained that a political killing capability that is in place was in a form of a task team and not a fixed unit/establishment. Now, if you keep that line in mind, and then you go back to the earlier highlighted paragraph where the minister was speaking, and the minister referred to creating structures, units based on specific category, whilst this duplicate the existing capabilities, and then he refers to taxi killings, political killings, all being about murder. It would appear that General Masemula was in fact clarifying the minister that the PKTT is not a fixed unit. It's not part of the establishment, when in fact the minister had referred to it as part of the structures and units based on specific things. So that's all the significance of that very last line. It's General Masemula clarifying to the minister that it's a task team, not agreeing to anything, just saying it is a task team, it's not part of the fixed structure. I think if you read the two together, you'll see that what appears to have been happening here. But importantly, to the question of Ms. Hassim about the decision, we have a recordal of the decisions that were made in that meeting under the slide 7, where the PKTT and task teams got mentioned. In that decision recorded at 503, there is no decision to shut down the task teams and PKTT in particular. Otherwise, it would have been recorded there.
You may look at the screen behind you.
Perhaps you can just read the decisions
Yes.
and you can then answer.
Oh, the one on top, I was reading from slide 8. I'm sorry, Chair.
So what comes before that, that is what has the yellow highlights, is the discussion, and then the decisions on that are what Commissioner Baloyi has just referred you to. You follow that?
I follow, Chair.
Yes. And Ms. Hassim now is saying, do you see that there is no decision there? Or was it Commissioner Baloyi? That the PKTT must be disbanded? Where they are, the actual decisions now.
It was, at that point in time, Chair, it wasn't a decision taken that says disband or it must be disbanded at all. It was a discussion to say there must be a reconsideration. This is now the foundation and the beginning and the momentum as it started gaining. To say there must be a reconsideration of this because now we are duplicating resources.
So there's no, in the decisions, would you agree that there's also no decision that's recorded for a review to take place of task teams, including the political killing task team?
Unless I don't read English well. Because when I see here, it says the minister further indicated that there must be a reconsideration and review
Yes.
of certain capabilities.
Yes. So that we've read that, and we've, this is clearly the discussion that took place. But the minutes reflect the decisions, and there are 3 bullet points. And what I'm saying to you is that not only are you correct that there was no decision to disband taken in that meeting, but there was also no decision that a review should be conducted on the political killings task team. Because if there was, it would be reflected in the minutes. Don't you agree?
I agree.
And would you agree that even apart from these minutes, no review was taken of the political killings task team before 31 December 2024?
Because there was already a document that is in circulation, so there was no review.
There was a document in circulation. Which document?
This one of the one that we read earlier.
The Murray report.
Yes.
Okay, but the Murray report we've already established was talking about proposals for the future. I'm saying, was there a review ever undertaken? A review of the capabilities and value of the political killings task team before the decision on 31 December, between this meeting and 31 December?
I thought I responded, Chair. I don't want to be evasive. I want to answer question honestly.
Was there a review undertaken pursuant to the meeting of 1 November 2024?
Not pursuant to the meeting of the 1 November. Okay.
That was your question.
Yes, thank you. That answers the question.
You want to say something, General?
What pains me is that I'm being pushed into a corner of saying, was there disbandment instruction, yes or no? Was there a review? There was a document that is in circulation where I also signed, where finally the National Commissioner at his own time then also signed and say implementation must be done by General Sibiya. So I wouldn't expect that there should be another review on top of a review that is running, that is already in place.
General, please understand what's going on here. We want to get the full facts. This is not about pushing you in any direction. If, as you say, there was something decided in accordance with the Murray report, you have said that. You have dealt with it. Now we are dealing with the minutes of the 1st November 2024. And you read the highlighted part where part of which says the minister indicated that there should be a reconsideration and review. Now, you are being asked a different question now. It's no longer about the Murray report. It's about the meeting of the 1st November 2024. And you are being asked a different question. Was there a review? Because we want to get all the facts, the full facts. Was there a review pursuant to the 1st of November 2024? We are past the Murray report. That's why you've already responded to the question. I'm just giving this explanation to disabuse your mind of this idea that you are being pushed into any particular direction. That's not the idea. These are different facts. You've dealt with Murray. We are now dealing with the 1st of November 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And the reason we're dealing with the minutes of the 1st November 2024 is because you drew to our attention that this was a significant event that led to the disbandment decision of the 31st of December. So just to explain why I am taking you to the minutes. Now we've dealt with the minutes. There's no decision in the minutes to either disband or to undertake a review of an analysis and an evaluation of the political killings task team that we've established. But my next question is, despite this, was there any review taken of the PKTT between 1 November and 31 December?
The answer is no.
Okay, thank you.
But can I clarify something?
Yes.
Remember that this was a consultative process, because there was a statement made by the National Commissioner that there was no consultation. So this document was meant to demonstrate that no, there has been meetings, several meetings, consultative meetings. It may not be the meeting that says disband or a decision taken that now we are disbanding, but this thing was discussed, ventilated in several meetings, of which the 1st of November was one of them. Thank you, Chair.
But would you agree that in order to make the decision to disband and for a proper consultation to take place, there would need to be an evaluation, an impact analysis of the PKTT?
I don't agree.
So on what basis then would the decision be made? How does one assess then that there's no value being added by the PKTT?
When a decision is taken to disband a task team, under normal circumstances, in every task team, this is not the process that we follow or that is being followed.
Who makes the decision? Let me start there.
The provincial commissioner can make a decision, or he who established a task team can make that decision.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I accept that, but I'm asking you whether there would be a review. There would be some basis, there would be a reason to make that decision. You don't just make a decision without reasons.
Yes.
Okay. And do you accept that in 2024, let me call it the sort of state of knowledge amongst the senior members of the service was that the PKTT was doing very good work.
According to their reports, General.
Yes.
And you shared that view, that they were doing good work.
Yes.
Okay. So what then do you say was, but you say that there therefore doesn't need to be any review. So if in 2024 you say they're doing good work, in fact I think you agreed they were outstanding in their work, what changed?
What changed is the fact that from where I'm sitting, I'm focusing nationally. I'm not focusing only on KZN. Now, as far as I'm concerned, from where I'm sitting, the capacity that is in KZN does not exist in Cape Town, where I'm sitting with gang violence, where people are dying every day. El Dorado Park, Westbury, many other areas. I have also instances where other political killings that are taking place throughout the country, like in Madlanga, where they are not being attended by the PKTT. So which means we focus in the resources, a lot of money, a lot of budget only on one particular task team that is serving the interest of only one province. So I am national, looking nationally at all the provinces.
I'm not sure what the answer is, but let me leave it at that with your response, and ask you this: did you consult? You say there were consultations. Did you consult with the head of the PKTT, General Khumalo?
Remember, I'm not the one that was doing the disbandment, because in my case, I was just carrying out the National Commissioner's instruction. So in my case, was just to relay the message that I received from the National Commissioner to General Khumalo.
Sure, but I'm not yet there yet. I'm still before 31 December 2024. What consultations were there with the head of the PKTT before the decision was taken? We know there was no impact analysis, but was there consultation with the head of the PKTT? These
meetings, including the 1st of November, those were the consultative process that were taking place. I personally didn't have to consult with General Khumalo because I was not part of it. I was not involved in it.
Okay, are you aware of any consultations with General Khumalo on the issue of disbandment?
He was part of the meetings.
Was he part of this meeting on the 1st of November?
All the meetings, yes, he was part.
And in those meetings, concerns had been raised?
Yes, and he even presented in Parliament, and yes.
In November 2024?
No, I say there was consultative and he was in agreement.
He was in agreement?
Yes.
With the disbandment?
Yes.
General Khumalo?
All of them.
I find that very hard to believe, because General Khumalo has testified at length here as to the shock when he saw the letter, the instruction, on the 31st of December 2024.
When we are to believe that, that is what he was supposed to also demonstrate in Parliament on the 5th of March, to say that I was in shock when that was discussed. But that is not what happened. He said the minister gave a directive to the National Commissioner. There has been several meetings held, and the disbandment will take place in a form of in phases, and then the cases will be taken to murder and robbery unit. The provinces, all the 9 districts have stabilized. Only eThekwini district is still the one. So all I'm saying is that if he was not in agreement, together with the provincial commissioner and the national commissioner, they were in the meeting in Parliament, and they didn't
Okay,
oppose.
but that was after the decision was taken, General. So I just want to stop you, because I'm really only dealing with this small period in 2024. We have on record that the evaluation of the task team, the agreement was that they're doing outstanding work in the middle of 2024. And then somewhere along the way, something changes. And that's the period I'm talking about. And what changed was towards the end of 2024. I'm trying to understand, at that point, were there consultations with General Khumalo, and you're saying they were, and you're saying that he agreed that it should be disbanded. And I'm saying to you that can't be right because he's testified at length that that's not the case.
But the fact that he testified and said what he said doesn't mean that in the meetings with the minister he did not really participate nor also raise concerns there or disagreed. Because if there was any such disagreement, it would have been recorded in the meeting, in the minutes themselves, that he was also not in agreement. But there's no such record.
Just to make sure you are not talking past each other, give us the timing. What time are you referring to? What period are you referring to, General?
Chair, I'm referring to all the meetings that were held since this topic was introduced in a meeting by the minister.
Minister Mkhunu.
Mkhunu, in a meeting.
Meeting of the 1st of November?
Of the 1st of November. So all the management were there, and this topic came to the fore, and it was discussed, responded to positively.
By topic, are you referring to disbandment?
Disbandment, referring to the reconsideration and review of certain capabilities such as political killings and inspectorate.
But my understanding is that Ms. Hassim is asking you about disbandment, General.
I can't hear the
I'm
chair.
saying my understanding is that Ms. Hassim is asking you about disbandment, not the reconsideration and review that we dealt with earlier.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Because we've moved off from review and reconsideration and those things. The question is about disbandment.
Yes. All I can say is that he's never visibly indicated that he doesn't want to comply or he doesn't agree. He hasn't done that.
General, can I just ask, maybe I'm trying to see if we can get to the answer of the question that you're being asked. This meeting is on the 1st of November.
Yes.
The disbandment letter is the 31st of December. What do you say happened after the 1st of November? Because on the 1st of November, the minister says there must be reconsideration and review. He expresses that view. And then we know it's not in the decision. The decision is not made. When you say there were discussions, what meetings or what forum after the 1st of November before the 31st of December were held with a discussion about the disbandment of the PKTT was raised, and where do we find a record of that discussion? Because it is an important topic, so I would imagine that it is recorded somewhere, and it would have been in a formal meeting. So I think you do need to be specific, more specific than saying it was discussed. You need to say there was this meeting and there was that meeting. And this is what was discussed, and this is the decision, and there has to be a minute of that meeting.
All I know, Chair, is that there was that meeting of the 1st of November, and then from there, it was just what was placed on the table. We all didn't expect that there will be a letter written, but on the 31st, the letter came. But in between, I am not in a position to tell what happened.
You're not aware. You're not aware, or you know there were no meetings between the 1st of November, at least none that you participated in, meetings after the 1st of November there's no meeting that you know of or that you participated in that discussed the PKTT and made a decision it will be disbanded. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that I have never been in any other meeting. I have been in all the meetings where this was discussed, but between November and...
Those meetings are before the 1st of November. Remember, we are talking about a defined period. From the 2nd of November to the 31st of December is what we are trying to establish, whether there was a discussion and a decision from the 2nd of November and to a date before the letter of disbandment.
No, there was no any other meeting that I can think of now from the top of my head.
Okay.
Leading to the 31st.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
General, can I ask a question? Looking at paragraph 63 of your statement on page 23.
Page 23,
Yeah.
my statement. Yes, Chair.
I don't see any inconsistency between your statement and the minutes of 1 November 2024. But my question is really this. Was there a review by the SAPS Executive Committee as contemplated in paragraph 63 of your decision? Because you are part of that executive committee, not so?
It's correct.
You are. Was there a review by that executive committee which you are a part of?
Not at all.
So we know this did not happen.
This did not.
So what was your expectation as far as the existence of the PKTT was concerned after this meeting? So what is the next thing that you expected after this meeting?
What I expected was that since in the meeting the minister raised about the disbandment or the closure of the inspectorate and the PKTT, it was now a subject for discussion that at some point is going to happen.
And that did not happen. There was no discussion at some point.
There was no discussion in between because the National Commissioner raised certain concerns in relation to like your inspectorate and say it can be done, however, it's going to cost 1, 2, 3.
So the next thing you saw was the minister's letter.
On the 31st.
Before there was a discussion.
Yes.
And before there was this review by the executive committee.
There's correct. Since the 1st of November to the 31st.
Yes. So then why do you say General Masimula is feigning surprise when he says when he saw the letter he was taken by surprise? If you yourself expected that there were going to be discussions, there was going to be a review, is it not a surprise that a disbandment letter that directs that the PKTT be disbanded immediately comes before this discussion has taken place or before even the executive committee of SAPS has set to undertake the exercise which you say would have been the next step?
I would be surprised if this topic or this subject was never at any given moment discussed. I just saw a letter on the 31st. But if I know that at some point there was this meeting held and my contribution was this, then when that decision comes and it comes as a surprise, then as the National Commissioner, I will then take it up with the minister, revert back without pushing it further. So I'm saying, to me, he cannot say it came as a surprise because it wasn't the very first time he came to hear about the matter.
Not the review, the disbandment. Remember, the first time he's hearing of the disbandment is when he sees the letter. He might have heard about a suggested review, a suggested impact analysis, but that is different to a disbandment decision. The first time he hears about a disbandment is in the letter because the minutes don't say anything about disbandment. They talk about a review. Murray on the 6th of March 2024 talks about an impact analysis. So the first time the National Commissioner sees the word disbandment is on when he sees the letter of 31 December 2024. And that is the
When the chair starts looking at me like that, I feel threatened now because I know what is coming.
Well, can I say that I would expect, given how you've explained in this discussion with Ms. Hassim, where you, and Commissioner Kumalo, where you accept that the executive management was mandated or was going to have a discussion, that did not happen. And the next thing you became aware of is when that letter came. If that is so, on that version, I would expect you to say, I was also surprised, because we had a meeting on the 1st where the minister spoke about reconsideration and review, and then we as executive management were tasked, or we're going to have a discussion about this. We never had that discussion. The next thing that happened is there was this letter. That's what you've said to us. The next thing, there was this letter. I would expect you to say, the letter also caught me by surprise. Unless, of course, you knew that that letter is coming, which was not, and you would have known not through the formal processes and not through the documents that are in front of us. Somehow you would have known it. But you've told us I knew nothing about it. The last time we had this discussion was on the 1st of November. And after that, there was nothing. Executive management didn't discuss it. I expected to say I was surprised.
Quite honestly speaking, Chair, I was not surprised for simple reasons. Remember, there are a trail of emails that were exchanged, even some of them sent from the National Commissioner's Office to the minister in relation to the political killing test team and the suggestion that it be disbanded. However, in the meeting where the minister raised...
And you would have been copied. And remember, we are talking about the period from the 2nd of November. Let's not go back there. We know you had a meeting on the 1st.
Okay.
It had a particular outcome. So we're looking at from the 2nd of November up to the date that letter came out, what happened, right? So if you say there were a trail of emails, it has to be, because that's a discussion we are having now. We're talking about from the 2nd of November, and my question is, if that's the period you're referring to, when you say there were a trail of emails, my next question would be, where you copied, is that how you come to know about it? From the 2nd of November up to the 31st, were you copied in those emails? Can we have copies of them if you were copied? If not, how do you come to know about them? But it's a specific window that we are discussing.
In between the meeting of the 1st of November up to the 31st, I know of no meeting or no consultation. I was never involved in any form of discussion. I also saw that letter as it was circulating now on the media.
Thanks, Shadrack.
Thank you. There's another peculiarity I want to raise with you. The letter of the 1st of November, we're staying in that period, but it's in fact not inconsistent with the Murray report. The discussion on the 1st of November wasn't only about the political killings task team. The political killings task team was cited as an example. So, was there any consultation on any other task team, any review that was done on any other task team other than the political killings task team after 1 November?
It was the inspectorate. It's not a task team. It's a division.
No,
it's a directorate.
Okay, but I just want you to confine your answer to task teams, because do you agree that in the meeting of the 1st of November, the discussion was about task teams and the political killing task team was cited as an example?
No. It was specifically about the political killing task team and inspectorate in that meeting.
Okay. And if you look at the minutes, let's just see the language of the minutes. It says there must be reconsideration and review of certain capabilities, such as the political killings task team, which are primarily about, I think he means addressing serious crimes. So it's cited there, such as an example. And then if you look at the second sentence, he states that the SAPS should guard against creating structures or units based on specific category while these duplicate the existing capabilities. Example, taxi killings, political killings, all being about murders. So he referred to the taxi killings task team. So this is what I'm saying to you, is that what was under discussion for review was not only the political killings task team, right?
Yes, I am aware that in the Eastern Cape, or I think Umtata, there was one, now I'm not sure whether it was disbanded or just established, but there was a political, there was a taxi violence killing. We sent a team down there to be disbanded as well.
When was that?
It could be round about the same period. I may not be right. I may not be accurate with my date, but I'll confine myself to the question in relation to the task team to say it was set as an example.
It was as an example. So, which to me would also give one a reason to think that it's, let me put it this way. I would have thought you yourself would also be surprised that it was only the political killings task team that was being disbanded out of all of the task teams. You were not surprised by that. Is that right?
No, I was not surprised.
Why not, when the discussion was about task teams, not only the political killings task team?
I think I did explain that I've got a bigger priority. This task team is just a task team. I have a bigger priority to address the murders in the country, throughout the country, where people are dying in numbers. So this was just part one of a small task team that is taking a bigger budget that could be used to address a bigger picture. So to me, when that happens, it suits the program of making sure that we create a capable state throughout the country.
There are other task teams with big budgets, do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Some with bigger budgets than the political killings task team.
Yes, I agree.
And why then was this one singled out in your view? Because it was singling out, we can see that, of this task team.
I think there's a difference in a sense that when you talk about the one for illegal mining, it's a continuous phenomenon which is far bigger than the issue of the task team, and it is funded from CARA fund. And its handling is not only provincial. It's not only provincial, it is throughout certain provinces that has got a illegal mining problem.
Okay, but other than the illicit mining task team, what about the other task teams with bigger budgets?
I'm not aware of any that will have the similar amount of money because, in fact, we were crafting all the extensions and then the request for funding for the budget in terms of the millions. Sometimes they would be requesting for 37 million just for 1 month. Now, I'm saying, to me, I was interested in making sure that I capacitate the murder and robbery units, because this murder and robbery units, the same task team could just be plunged into the murder and robbery unit. Then you still have the same capacity doing the same job, but not in the form of a task team, but you having it as a unit with the same capacity.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to say to you that it seems very peculiar that only one task team is singled out of many where others have bigger budgets. Some have been going on for longer than the political killings task team, have been in existence for longer than the political killings task team.
Just before you move on, just one question in the hope that there won't have to be follow-ups. General, on your point about why General Masemula could not have been surprised and why you were not surprised, you rely in your paragraph 63 on the minutes of the first, or rather the meeting of the 1st of November 2024, and you then refer us to those those minutes. What I want to know, because we have seen that the decisions themselves, which you were referred to, the highlighted part in the minutes, you saw there that there's nothing about the disbandment of the PKTT. Now, what I want to understand is your understanding of the words reconsider and review, which you use in paragraph 63 and which I used in the minutes as well. Fine, I'm engaging you at the level at which you debated or argued. That's not in the decisions, it's in the discussions in the minutes. But I will engage you regardless of the fact that reference to reconsider and review is not in the decisions. I just want to engage you at the level of your reliance on the discussion. Now, what's your understanding of the meaning of reconsider and review?
Reconsider
or review?
Chair, when I say reconsider your decision, I mean I would be saying that do you wanna reconsider your decision, because your decision that you have taken, I don't think you need that. You wanna reconsider. Now I'm saying reconsider. Just think twice or think again whether you really still need this. And when I say review, I say you took a decision that you might have to go back to and review. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is no longer really serving all the people of South Africa equally. Or it's not making the necessary impact. Or it's not giving us value for money. And you have it and it's continuing. Do you want to review that decision that you have taken? That is how I understand it, Chair.
Without suggesting that the two words are synonyms, do you accept, though, that both words admit of the possibility that the person being asked to reconsider or review may decide not to change their decision? You accept that?
I do, Chair.
Thank you.
General, you said that there were emails also after 1st November in response to the question from the commissioners about the surprise of the National Commissioner. You said he shouldn't have been surprised because there was a Marais report, there was a 1st November, and there were emails, and he was copied on those emails. What emails are you referring to?
I need assistance because we do have them here. I must just refer to them now because
emails during what period, General?
It will be before November.
No,
Sorry? Sorry?
It will be before November.
From when? Oh, before November.
I take it that it will be before the November, because she asked me what emails.
All right, okay.
That forms part of the build up towards that meeting, towards the disbandment.
Oh, okay, okay.
Chair, am I expected?
Are you referring to would you like to look at your statement again? Are you referring to the complaint by Mr. Haas?
That one and many others that were even referred from the Office of the National Commissioner by Brigadier Letoko and said this one must be dealt with by the minister. So those type of message emails were there. And then given a time, a chance now, I can look at it. It's just that at this point in time, I'm concentrating on responding. Now, being taken to now, I start looking, I look confused. But I have those emails. In the meantime, maybe my team can assist me in the meantime as I'm responding.
Oh, Mr. Sim, shouldn't we leave them for the general to try to find and perhaps produce, perhaps overnight?
Well, he refers to it in his statement,
Yeah,
and they're annexures to his statement. So maybe I could
Please,
assist the general to find it. At paragraph 69 of your statement, you say on 6 November 24, the Haas's complaint was circulated to the Office of the National Commissioner. And you say a copy of the correspondence at the end of the paragraph is attached as SS7. So maybe we could go there. Is that what you're looking for?
67 talk about 31 October Meridi House. I just want to get to all of them. This one is yours.
SS7 is file 2. And, that's at page 192, I think. There's some superimposition there, but I think it's 192.
It is 192, Chair.
Yes.
Is that what you're looking for?
That is correct, Chair. This is what I'm looking for, but I see all of these ones from Babalwa Mbengo, 4 November.
And Mr. Haas is SS6.
SS6 is the complaint itself.
Yes, is that one, even those that went to Parliament, it's before November.
Well, it looks like the emails, the correspondence that you're referring to is on 6 November. And she seems to, if you look at page 193.
Page?
193, it's an email from Mr. Haas to several recipients, and then that is forwarded to the minister.
Yes, I see it, Chair.
Okay, so is this the correspondence you were referring to?
I think this is the correspondence I'm referring to.
Okay, and what did you want to say about this correspondence, that there was a complaint?
Yes, what I wanted to just say or indicate is that this discussion, the meeting of the 1st of November wasn't the real first discussion to discuss this issue. there's paperwork and build up towards that meeting of the 31st, because there were some complaints and there were some exchange of emails regarding the political killing task team. So, as far as I'm concerned, is that if this communication started as early as November, with few emails being exchanged, and then some of which has been sent to the minister by the Office of the National Commissioner, as far as I'm concerned, it was now a subject that was being discussed or under discussion. Now, if on the 31st of December, I see a letter circulating like that one, it was something that I saw, and we all didn't expect it, but it happened. But to say I was surprised, I can't say I was surprised, because it was once discussed. So it came. And the fact that even in the meeting of the 1st of November, the National Commissioner just indicated that this is just a task team, not a permanent unit. It was meant to evolve in a permanent unit maybe. That's why I didn't get the shock of my life, because it was already a known subject.
Okay, I'm not going to go back to the 1st of November because we've dealt with that and we've said that the minutes don't reflect a decision. And I'm not going to reopen that unless you want to say something, you want to change what you've said earlier. I think we closed that off. I was trying to probe with you what other, because you said there were other emails. Now, we know that the emails you've just referred us to is this complaint from Mr. Haas. Wouldn't the appropriate thing have been to investigate the allegations that were made in the complaint? That would be the appropriate next step. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree that the allegations needed to be investigated.
And it couldn't be a basis to disband the task team without an investigation. The fact that a mere complaint is laid, and I don't say mere in a dismissive way, the fact that a complaint is laid against any unit or any task team or any person in the SAPS, any member of the service, is not sufficient to take action against that person or that team.
I think if I was the decision maker, I was going to be able to respond my way. Because now this was the minister's decision.
No, I want you to respond your way, because I want to understand why, we're talking about why you were not surprised. You said you were not surprised because there was this complaint. It was already there on the table. So the question is, the appropriate response to this would have been to conduct an investigation into the allegations.
Yes, but it wouldn't still be what shall I call it, a game changer, in a sense that the fact that there is this complaint, among the many complaints that existed, or that, because people have been complaining, some of them, maybe other complaints about the PKTT. And if there's a decision that says, look, we have a study, we've conducted a study that says we need to recapacitate the murder and robbery unit. To me, I'm looking at it my way, commissioners. My way was, I want to capacitate and strengthen capacity in all the murder and robbery units. So to me, disbanding this PKTT
would be first prize.
Yes.
General, why not disband the taxi killings task team for that same reason? You're concerned about budget. You want to capacitate other units. You have the taxi killings, and the minister does say in that 1 November meeting that they, like the PKTT, are doing work that involves murder. And in his testimony before us, he said, all murder is the same. So why were you not thinking, oh, it's even obvious that the political killings team should be dissolved as well because you're concerned about budget?
Thank you very much for that question, Commissioner. It actually led me and assist me in being able to respond, actually, because first and foremost, how many politicians get killed? Let's take 1 to 6 months. No one. Or one. Taxi killings, people die almost every day or every week. When you look at what is happening in the gang violence, your Cape Flats, everything, where people are dying every day.
Sorry. So you disagree with the minister's suggestion in that meeting? Because remember, on the 1st of November, the minister mentions the political killings task team and the taxi, what he calls the taxi killings. So he didn't just say the PKTT. He referenced also that taxi killings task team, that there has to be a reconsideration and a review to collapse them into the murder, I think it's a murder and robbery unit. How you're starting now about the taxi killings task team is that you saying, well, you don't agree with the minister that there needed to be a reconsideration even of the taxi killings task team?
No. What I was basing my answer on is that the political killing task team is actually not such a busy task team, because politicians don't die every week or every second week. But we're maintaining it and we're spending millions on a daily basis in hotels. Now, I'm saying, from where I'm sitting, we could use the budget better.
In April 2024, you approved the allocation of further funds, which suggests to me, at least, that this position that you've now adopted and are justifying about disbanding the PKTT is an afterthought. Certainly you were not thinking that in April 2024, because you would have refused to make the recommendation to support the request for funding, or you would have made notes expressing your reservations, even as you recommend. But you don't do that. You give an unqualified support for request for funding. That's in April 2020. Sorry?
To be precise, Commissioner, it's 26 March 2024
Yes.
was the date of the general signature.
So in March 2024, you support a request to fund the PKTT. The very one that you say, well, I need the money. They're just sitting in hotels. I need the money, but you support it without qualification. You have to be able to reconcile that. Otherwise, it's a later change of mind about the PKTT, what you are now telling us, because your conduct in March 2024 suggests you did not have the concerns that you are now expressing after it is disbanded.
No. Let's look at the first date. Is there, when I recommended, is March 2024.
26 March
26
2024.
March. And at that point in time, it was in fact the very first time I'm included, even in the correspondence or communication of saying, we need budget, I can't stand on the way when they say we need budget. It must via my office. It was the first time, because it has never happened like that. Now it comes to me, I can't say no, and I can't question it, because this thing is being brought to me, that must go to the National Commissioner for signature. I say yes, they are doing a good job, they sign, and it goes. However, when the issue of the study then comes to me at a later stage, remember when it's my signature now on the document, evaluation document, it is at a much later stage in 2024. When I signed and say that I've gone through these documents, and I see that the political killing task team's mandate fall in fact under murder and robbery unit. Now, I've murder and robbery unit everywhere in the country. We also have murder and robbery unit in KZN. But we also have a duplicate unit, task team that is running on its own when we have a murder and robbery unit. Take this capacity, put it in there. That is what, in my mind, came through.
So in March 2024, when you sign, are you saying you didn't realize that what the PKTT, that which you are approving at that time, they do work which falls under murder and robbery? Is that what you're telling us?
I didn't have that benefit of that report at that point in time.
Yeah, but I'm assuming you know about that there is a political kill, unless you say you didn't know that there's a political killings task team and that it is tasked to look into political killings, that it is the product of an initiative, an instruction directive of the president to an interministerial committee. Surely you knew all of those things, even before you were asked to sign for the first time. You must have known. Maybe let me take it step by step. Before the 26th of March 2024, did you know about the existence of the PKTT?
I did know about the existence of the political killing task team, and that it was a door no any other person was supposed to open. Only
did you know what they were constituted to do?
To investigate political killings.
You knew that?
Yes.
And you knew that the political killings that they were formed to investigate are matters that even the murder and robbery unit can investigate. You knew that?
I knew that.
Okay, so you knew all of that on the 26th of March, yes, 2024.
That's correct.
And you still signed and approved funding, even
That's
though
correct.
you knew that?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Ms. Asu.
Sorry, what I want. I raise one little thing.
Sorry, I'd like you to come in, but because it's linked to what Commissioner Baloyi is saying, you might want to respond to both. Because it wasn't only political killings. The PKTT was also looking into the killings of traditional leaders. They had their mandate extended to cover that aspect. And then they were requested to, of course, go to Fort Hare. So to just put it in perspective, it was a national task team looking at several areas of concern, not just the political killings in KZN.
Actually, that is where I was going when I wanted to say something, to say, remember that, and I mentioned it in terms of percentage, to say that political related, I don't know whether it's 18% or 24%, and there are drugs related. In other instances, it is not political related. In other instances, there's so many. When you look at that document that we wrote and say this document, all these cases are cases that were put in a fridge that were not being attended to. Most of them, only something like 69 or 60 were political, but the rest are not political. Some will be land issues, but some will be. It does not necessarily mean that when a child of a councillor who was killed at the Shebeen is political related, but it would be something like those. So you will have some cases where they are not political related. It's just plain matter. And then in some they will say it's ad hoc cases or parallel cases. Now you have a unit that is just investigating everything, when in fact there are units.
Yeah, no, General. There's no disagreement with you that you had units that did their kind of work that now got assigned to be carried out by the PKTT. There's no disagreement. The same way with taxi killings task team. There's no question about that. The issue, at least that I'm discussing with you, is you now think PKTT rather, is a bad idea. It's a waste of money. Let's put the money elsewhere. And all I was seeking to establish with you was that must be a view that you formed only after the 26th of March, 2024. Has to be, because you sign and recommend or support funding for them for another period in March 24. So it's a view you formed after March 2024, and I think we've agreed that. You've said up to that point, you knew they were there, you knew their purpose, and the work that they did, and you supported that. You give an explanation that, well, I didn't know anything. The National Commissioner, it had to go to the National Commissioner. I couldn't say no. It's difficult to accept that someone at your seniority, if they hold real, genuine views when they are given a document to sign, they wouldn't look into it and say, what is this, even if you didn't know. But you knew about the PKTT. So what I'm checking, or what I'm discussing with you, is something changed with you after the 26th of March. It has to be. Something changed that you now hold a different view about the PKTT that makes you say, of course they had to be disbanded.
Can I respond?
And the question, yeah, in your response, I would like to hear, what is it that changed?
Chair, what I want to say is that I was promoted to the rank of a Lieutenant General with effect from the 1st of July 2023. Now you count the months leading to March when I signed, when you're still getting comfortable in the new position where now you're looking into various documents and various, how to improve service delivery or how to improve your office in such a way that it is able to be effective. Now, after that March to where it was, I'm now in the system. I now know what I want to achieve. I now have had the benefit of being to El Dorado Park, myself, Hanover Park. I've had a lot of experience of what I see, and I have now a report in front of me that says, we have had this study that looks into these task teams, and then, because there is something that is attached to that I want to say, that make me more support the idea of the task team is not a good idea, is that I have this member carrying 600 docket, 800 docket, 500 docket, 400 docket. Now, they're no longer working on this docket, but they're tired of this docket. But what they want to do, the shortest route is to say, I wish they can send me on a task team, and someone goes on a task team and they leave those dockets there. And those dockets must now go to the station, to the branch commander, who must redistribute them to other members who are carrying a lot of dockets. Sometimes they say, oh, you think he's clever. He's going to a task team, he leaves this, they put them there. When you come back, after 2 years, 3 years, your dockets are still there. And they never worked on those dockets. So to me, the issue of the task teams, the task team is meant to go and extinguish the fire now, get it over and done with, come back to where you belong, not to be a permanent thing for years. So the issue of the task team of keeping dockets, because even where these people that are in the task team left, you can't replace them because it is their positions. You're running short of manpower, they are there doing something else, but you can't replace them here because, and you remain empty here.
And that's not unique to the PKTT, right? You're not saying that that cannot be a justification, and certainly the minister doesn't rely on that. And in the documents you've referred us to, there is no such discussion as a consideration. But more importantly, yes, it's a concern, and there's probably merit to that concern that you're raising, but that's something that's not unique to the PKTT. When you create task teams, which the SAPS has a lot of, we were told, when you create task teams, that's the consequence, right? You get people leaving dockets, somebody else looks at, so it couldn't be a justification for the PKTT's disbandment.
I wouldn't want to get into that space because in my case, I don't want to speak on behalf of the minister as to whether it was the reason or not. But to me, it was a decision that I really didn't have a problem with.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Smith.
I just want to, did I hear you correctly when you said you signed on 26 March 2024 without applying your mind to it? Is that what you were saying?
I don't remember saying without applying my mind, Chair.
So it sounded like that. Can you just clarify? You said you just signed it on 26 March 2024.
I've never even also said I just signed it. I said I was just arriving. I was still getting comfortable within my position, still looking at issues and where to improve service delivery, and then which is what works and what is not working. But at that point in time, it was the very first time that I get involved into the PKTT. I've attended the meeting of the PKTT only once in KZN because I was with the National Commissioner. We went there to KZN, but there I've never known about their operations, and no any other person was allowed to know what is going on inside there. So that is why I say, to me, even when they put this document in front of me, I signed. I had to sign because they say to you, this is for the extension of the PKTT, for the political killing, and this is because of we are facing elections, we are facing that, so I had to sign.
You didn't have to sign, of course. You could have, well, one, you didn't, I mean, you didn't have to recommend. You could have not recommended if there were reasons to. Or you could have recommended with qualifications. You gave a blanket recommendation. And that's the difference. You could have had qualifications attached to your signature, like other signatories have had.
The fact that I this time, I applied my mind and then signed what the National Commissioner gave me to do. It tells you that at this present moment I was now working, applying my mind. I did exactly what the National Commissioner asked me to do, and I gave it in.
Which one are you referring to? Signing that?
like for an example, whatever that happened, I just complied with the National Commissioner's instruction. So when you say I didn't need to sign, I was going to be regarded as now defying.
No, sorry, you misunderstood me. I meant that you either recommend, it's not that you don't sign, you either recommend, that's what's the power that's given to you from the position that you hold, which is a very senior office, and there's a reason why it has to go through you before it goes to the National Commissioner, because the National Commissioner's signature comes after yours. So he is relying on others to have looked at it from their perspective to see what your views are for him to give final sign-off. So when you receive it, your task is to apply your mind to it and make a decision whether to recommend, not recommend, or recommend with qualifications. Do you agree with that?
No. Let us look at the current situation on what I'm going through now. Let us look at the current situation where
Sorry, I'm getting a note passed to me.
Let's look at the current situation.
Okay. No, answer the question and then I'll address the note. Thank you.
Let us look at the current situation where there's an instruction to disband and it says immediately. And then personally, having disbanded units, having participated in many disbandment, we disband task teams on a daily basis. We move people around. Because of natural attritions, people die, resign, get promoted, transferred. To me, to disband immediately is not really a critical challenge or issue. Now, and then you also get the National Commissioner saying, yeah, but I said let's wind down. And then you decided that no, this thing can be done now. Look at where it put me now, at home. So the sentiments that says you are a senior manager, you could apply your mind, doesn't work. Because as a senior manager, I said, but in disbanding the task team, there was an instruction from the National Commissioner and General Kumalo himself that says those members of the task team that have been trained from different environments, let them be set to stations so that they can implement that what they've been trained to do.
But General, you're not answering the question. You're discussing something that comes much later.
Oh.
The question was, you are a signatory, you sign, rather. You're one of the people who are making a recommendation, have an option to make a recommendation, or I do not support, I support. I recommend, or I recommend with qualifications. Now, we know from evidence that General Dimbane did put in a note. She supported, but made a specific recommendation, a suggestion that these must be for budgeting purposes, to regularize budgeting. This task team should be regularized into a unit, something to that effect.
Discontinued.
Something to that effect. And the National Commissioner had a response to that in that same form. So you had the option at that point to say, I support, because you say, I'm new, I don't know this environment, but this work rightly is work that the murder and robbery unit should be doing, and maybe consideration should be given to that. I think that's what Ms. Hassim is putting to you, that you did have an option on that form to sign and and recommend, because you don't want to get into trouble with the National Commissioner, as I understand you, and you don't quite yet have an understanding of what things are like, but you at least know the work that they do, and you know that it falls within the murder and robbery. So you could have said something, but you signed without qualification, which is what causes this debate. On paper, you had no problem with approving that funding request. You had no problem with it on the documents that you signed.
Yes.
And it's only later that you pick up problems with it.
I agree.
Thank you, Commissioner. Chair, I think it might be best if I ask your permission to let Ms. Killian address you on the note that was addressed, rather than me addressing it directly with you.
Yes, Ms. Killian.
I'm a bit surprised as to what I should address.
Okay, the note that was...
Yeah, let's just, few minutes, you'll indicate when you're ready for us.
Thanks.
Let's adjourn.